All right, guys, so today wrapped up minicamp for the Green Bay Packers. It was just a 2-day event. The Packers have a team-building event tomorrow. The next time we'll see the Green Bay Packers practice will be training camp, 1 month and 10 days from now on July 22nd. So in this video, we're going to break down everything that happened in today's practice, go over the key notes from both offense and defense. And I also just released a highlight video from today's practice, so if you do want to watch that after this video, simply click the link right above. And before we dive into the video, I want to give a massive shout out to today's video sponsor, Sleeper. Right now on Sleeper, new users can get a first-time deposit match up to $100 with code BASS. The link is down in the description. That means if you were to deposit $100, you'd then have $200 to play with. Sleeper is an awesome daily fantasy sports app, and with the NBA Finals going on right now, you can make your picks higher or lower on any given stat, points, rebounds, assists. Choose 2 to 8 players, and you can do so choosing a multitude of different sports to make your picks. After choosing your picks, you can see you can win up to 100x payouts. So guys, I'd really suggest going and checking out Sleeper. It's a very easy and clean app to use. Supporting the sponsor is also supporting this channel, allowing me to create daily content for the Packers. So I'd really appreciate it if you went and checked them out. Use code BASS at signup, BAS, to get a first-time deposit match up to $100. All right, so now let's get into all the notes and takeaways I have from the final minicamp practice for the Green Bay Packers. And just like every other time, we're going to start with attendance. Now, we saw yesterday, if you didn't see that video or didn't get updated on that practice, Jair Alexander, Xavier McKinney, and Keyshawn Nixon were all absent, but they were excused absences. Now, add Josh Jacobs to that list for today. He was also an excused absence, so they kind of gave him the second practice off. In terms of the rehab group today, players that are injured but still present: Zach Tom, Alex Magoo, Katan Oladapo, Tyler Davis, Spencer Waege, Jarvian Howard, and Jermon Green. Waege, Howard, and Green are all new additions to this, I believe. I don't remember seeing them on this list yesterday. Otherwise, it's the same group as yesterday in terms of players not practicing. During practice, it looked like Anthony Johnson Jr. was banged up during individuals. He didn't start in team sessions, but then came in afterwards and looked fine. Also, during team sessions, cornerback Robert Rochelle looked banged up, but he kept re-entering and practicing as well. Now, let's quickly go over the starters on the offensive line as well as the starters on defense. So we saw yesterday the offensive line, Andre Dillard started at left tackle over Rasheed Walker, just to kind of get that rotation flowing that the Packers are doing right now, just to cross-train, put a bunch of players, see how they work. But today it was back to Rasheed Walker at left tackle, Elton Jenkins at left guard, Josh Myers at center, Sean Ryan at right guard, and Andre Dillard in at right tackle. So, of course, with Zach Tom still out, Dillard has been playing mainly right tackle. They've also put Morgan in there. And then as for the defense, they came out in nickel, and the defensive line was as follows: Preston Smith, Devontae Wyatt, TJ Slayton, and Rashawn Gary. The 2 linebackers were Quay Walker and Isaiah McDuffie. The 3 cornerbacks were Carrington Valentine, Eric Stokes, and Corey Ballantyne. And the 2 safeties were Evan Williams and Javon Bullard. So both rookies back there at safety, and that is because Anthony Johnson Jr. didn't start team sessions. As I said, he was hurt on the sideline working with a trainer. He did enter later and got some reps during teams, so if he was fully ready to go, I'm sure it would have been Anthony Johnson Jr. and Javon Bullard, but today Evan Williams got even more snaps in terms of team sessions. Also, very interestingly, during team sessions, there was a rep where Preston Smith went inside and Quay Walker was on the edge. I love seeing things like this. I think they can also, kick Lucas Van Ness on the inside, put Edgerrin Cooper on the edge, which they have been doing. I just love seeing the versatility there. Basically, Jeff Hafley just giving the offense a ton of different looks and utilizing your player skills in ways that aren't traditional, right? Quay Walker can definitely get after the passer. So can Edgerrin Cooper. Edgerrin Cooper has been doing it a lot so far this offseason. All right, so now let's go over the offensive notes, and this was a very hot day for quarterback Jordan Love, still waiting on this contract extension and probably had his best practice of all offseason. Today, Love had connections to Jaden Reed, Tay Wicks, Romeo Dobbs, Christian Watson, Bo Melton, Luke Musgrave, Malik Heath, Marshawn Lloyd and A.J. Dillon. He was finding receivers with ease and actually started the practice today 9 for 9. He had his first incompletion on the 10th pass, and I believe overall only had 2 incomplete passes today. It was another rough day for quarterback Sean Clifford. We saw him throw 3 interceptions yesterday, all to Zane Anderson, which is still wild that that's even a statement we're saying. He threw another interception today, didn't do well in 2-minute drill. That interception went to Robert Rochelle. Rookie running back Marshawn Lloyd continues to impress. He was opening a lot of eyes yesterday with his quickness and his one-cut ability. That continued today. He had more nice runs today, including a very impressive one-handed catch out of a screen pass that went for 20+ yards. I was actually just talking about Marshawn Lloyd and his ability in the receiving game in my highlight video, saying he was great at screen passes at USC, and averaged over 17 yards per catch last year at USC. And the Packers have been struggling in the screen game the past 2 seasons, so hopefully they can get that on track. And it looks like it's off to a good start with Marshawn Lloyd. Jordan Morgan had a tough practice today, allowed a would-be sack versus Aaron Mosby, and then had a false start the very next play. Morgan has had some struggles a decent bit in regards to false starts so far through this offseason. Definitely got to get that cleaned up. And it all ties into what Matt LaFleur said yesterday about Jordan Morgan, pretty much that he has a long way to go mentally, which makes sense. I mean, if he's having a lot of mental errors such as false starts, why Matt LaFleur said that. Moving on to the defensive notes from today's practice, Edgerrin Cooper continues to get pressure on the quarterback. As I stated earlier, when Quay Walker was on the edge and Preston Smith on the inside, they've also been utilizing Edgerrin Cooper to rush after the passer, and he's been getting pressures pretty much all offseason, getting would-be sacks. He's being utilized in many different ways, which is awesome because he's just so athletic. Rashawn Gary put Andre Dillard on the ground. This has been a reoccurring theme. I believe he did it to Jordan Morgan and probably some other offensive linemen. He's just been putting offensive linemen on the ground. Edge players just keep getting pressure during these practices. Deslin Alexander, Keyshawn Banks, Aaron Mosby, Kenneth Odomegwo, all with would-be sacks today. Then the final note I have for the defense is that Evan Williams looked good today. He got the start in teams with Anthony Johnson Jr. kind of waiting to go in, working on the sideline with a trainer. So he got the start next to Bullard today, and he looked good in coverage and also had a pressure on the blitz. So the Packers, again, just utilizing all their players. Jeff Hafley, giving the offenses different looks, bringing pressure when needed. It's a breath of fresh air to see this. The Packers defense actually being a little bit aggressive. Then to quickly go over the 2-minute drills for the first team, second team, and third team offense. For the first team, it started out with Jordan Love's only bad throw of the day. He threw a ball behind Tay Wicks on a slant, and it should have been intercepted by Quay Walker, but he dropped it. But then Jordan Love followed that with completions to Reed and Musgrave to move the chains. Then he had a 7-yard scramble, then another first down throw to Romeo Doubs. But then the offense kind of stalled. It had 3 offensive penalties in 4 plays, an illegal formation, and also 2 false starts, which then resulted in a game-winning, with quotations, game-winning kick from Jack Podlesny, which he made of 49 yards. As for the second team in 2-minute drills, again, they struggled today. Sean Clifford kind of just has been struggling recently. He got sacked during this period, also had a ball batted down at the line of scrimmage. And then on 4th down, he did complete a pass, but it was short of the sticks, so the offense turned over the football. Then for the third team, not many notes here. Pratt mainly hit a bunch of checkdowns for the 2-minute drill, which resulted in the clock ticking and not really moving much yardage, and the offense ultimately stalled. Then to wrap things up, we have a couple special teams notes. I know a lot of people have been asking about long snapping. Undrafted free agent Peter Bowden had first team reps today, which is awesome. You love to hear it. I think he will make this roster. He will be the long snapper for 2024. Matt Orzech was not good last year, and I think Peter Bowden is a much better long snapper, so nice to see him get first team reps today. And then for the end of practice, kicking, the only kicker that missed on the 6 attempts was Jack Podlesny, so Anders Carlson went 2 for 2, and also Greg Joseph went 2 for 2. So that does it for all the notes I have for the final Green Bay Packers mini camp practice. Again, it's going to be a while until we see the Packers practice again, but man, when that happens, it's going to take off. There's going to be a ton of training camp notes and highlights to go over, as well as preseason. So if you want to stay in the loop, definitely go down and click subscribe. You won't regret it. But I appreciate you guys coming by to the video. I'll catch you on the next one. And as always, go Pack Go.